for my weekly weigh-in a day early. The holiday weekend kind of threw things off for me because I usually fast Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. I don't know what it is. I'm so programmed to do every other day. I came into the week and said I was going to do Monday and Thursday for my 24-hour fast, but I just did it yesterday. So I did it Monday and Wednesday. I'm not going to fast on Friday, so I'm going to do my weigh-in today. I weigh myself. I try to be in a consistent state in terms of weighing myself either fasted or non-fasted. And so because I'm not going to fast again until Sunday, I just decided to do my weigh-in today. It's really the only reason, but I didn't fast Sunday because it's a 3-day weekend. I usually fast the week. I do my long run the day before I go back to work, and usually make that a quiet, chill day and do my fast. I do a 24-hour fast. I run in the morning and then I just have one meal midday. But didn't do that on Sunday, so it just threw off my week. So I'm gonna do it today. Just total transparency and accountability. I really had a fall down in terms of my discipline last week. And it wasn't really temptation. I stress ate. I don't talk too much about my personal life on my fitness channel, but I've been looking for a new full-time gig, and I had 2 interviews last Tuesday and last Thursday for some opportunities I'm actually very, very excited about. And I finished the first one and went really, really well. And I don't know what it is. I just had a real nervous reaction. And if I felt nervous because I spent a lot of time preparing for that one, and I didn't spend a ton of time preparing for the one on Thursday. And it was Tuesday from 4 to 5, and the next one was Thursday from 9 to 10. So it was like basically had a day and a half. And honestly, all day Tuesday I pigged out. Wednesday I pigged out. After the interview on Tuesday and it went well, I was honestly in a celebratory mood. I had Papa John's. I ordered it on a Tuesday, which I never do. And on Wednesday, I was nervous about the next one I had coming. So I really just pigged out. I had a huge stress reaction. I was incredibly stressed last Wednesday, nervous that I was not prepared for Thursday. And I ate an entire box of oatmeal cream pies. The 340-pound version of me is still in here, even in the 270s. I had also bought one of those the Keebler things with like 4 containers of like fudge striped cookies with fudge on the back and stripe on the front, shortbread cookies. I had the first one, but I can't eat a ton of sugar like that because I really had a bad headache, so I threw out the last 3, but I really pigged out, and I don't remember what I had for dinner, but I know it was junk. It was fast food, it was something. It wasn't McDonald's, I don't remember, I'm not gonna remember. That was a week and a day ago. It was Thursday morning, but I know it was junk. I just know I had a terrible Wednesday. And Tuesday, like I said, I was doing well, and then I had pizza. I had my factor meal, and I was planning on having one meal, and then the interview went really well, and I'm like, I need to celebrate, and which I really didn't need to. And then, no, I'm getting things mixed up. The day I had a bad dinner was Thursday, because Thursday I did do the interview. They contacted me an hour later and told me I was advancing to the final round. And I remember that's when so Tuesday I was good. Wednesday I ate a bunch of junk. And then Thursday, because I remember I watched the game and my wife and daughter came downstairs with me. It was Thursday. I found out I made the final round, and I was hoping the Tuesday one I was going to advance to the final round. I still haven't heard back, but I'm not going to get into all of that. But Thursday, I had a Papa John's, and I ordered the cinnamon roll. So I just really had a bad 2 days. But Wednesday I was right. I had the oatmeal cream pies and I had the fudge stripe cookies. I think I had Chipotle for dinner. I'm pretty sure I had Chipotle for dinner, but then like I said, Thursday I had pizza. That's why I didn't do my weigh-in on either Friday or Monday. I'm just being transparent. But I've pulled it together since. I actually had a very clean weekend and a very clean week, but I did a lot of damage last Wednesday and Thursday, so it's time for some accountability. So no surprise, whatever this comes in at, it comes in at. But yeah, I want to be accountable. I really had a stress reaction. I was very nervous, and I did not respond well Wednesday and Thursday. I was actually having a very good week. Although the weekend before, we were at we were away for my daughter. My daughter had a dance competition out in Woodbridge, and we stayed out in the hotel, and I was eating out all weekend. The only thing I can really say I ate that was junk was Sunday. They have, like, at the school where the competition is at, they just have a food stand, and my daughter had like 7 dances in like 5 hours, and it was like 1:30. I was starving. I had 2 cheeseburgers. They're not huge. They're not like, they're probably the size of a McDonald's cheeseburger. I had 2 cheeseburgers and a little bag of chips. Um, and I took my daughter to Sweet Frog when we got back. I brought her home. And so I had a cup of Froyo, frozen yogurt. That's all I ate that day. With everything I consumed was pure junk. So just last week was not a good week. But that, just want to be accountable. So let's see, it's time to pay the piper and see where I'm at. And full discretion, I did just do a 2-mile run. So I'm going to be artificially low, and I'm admitting that I did that in advance of my win because I'm scared of what this number is going to be. But let's see. So I've worked off a lot of the mess I made. That's discouraging, though, in the sense that I was honestly hoping that by next week I could get under 270. But it's probably 2 to 3 weeks away. Yeah, I'm up 1.5 pounds. I did a lot of damage last week. My body fat's at 32.9. I think that's pretty consistent with where it was. I think I had just come under 33 last time, but yeah, I'm at 274.7. So that's where I'm at. So, not happy with where I'm at, but took a week. I was able to offset most of the damage. Who knows what my weight was last Friday morning when I woke up. 2 weeks ago, I weighed in at 273 and change. I had in the back of my head, I want to finish May under 270. That's clearly not going to happen by tomorrow, but let's just keep working. My birthday is just under 2 months away. On the 25th was pretty sure it was Sunday. I told my wife I want to shed 20 pounds. I want to be under 255. I was hoping to be under 250, but that's seeming, it's seeming, I hate saying, that's seeming unrealistic. But I do think shedding 20 pounds in the next 2 weeks with me just being focused and locked in is realistic. In 2 months, I've essentially been flat. And, that's not where I want, but sometimes this ebbs and flows. I've had lapses in discipline. I've had some real stress reactions to this job search. And, I've got to do a better job of controlling it. That's just the way it is. I have a final round, I keep saying January, June 8th, for the opportunity I told you last Thursday. And I really want to move past this little phase. It's been really stressful, but in the first quarter, I had tremendous results. This quarter hasn't been going great at all, but I haven't gained, and I've dealt with major stress events that in the past I would say would have sent me in a negative direction. And so I'm proud that I've held on and maintained, but I keep stressing I really want to get some separation from this area. I have been between 270 and 290 for 2.5 years now, and I really want to get some separation. And what better motivation than my 50th birthday coming and really making a push to get back to a space I haven't been to. I haven't been under 260 since probably 2023. Well, what better time to to do it than now. 2 months from now, I'll be having my birthday party. It's a little messy, but I'm gonna be standing right there at that bar. I'm gonna have a big cake, and this is gonna be full of people. All of my loved ones coming to celebrate me surviving a half a century. I say surviving, me living a half century. I'm gonna have a giant cake and be blowing out candles right there. I'm gonna be standing right there, and what better motivation than that moment? 10 p.m., 11 p.m., whatever it'll be, July 25th. I'm turning 50 years old, and it's a blessing. So when I say survive, like I've been in some battlefield. Feels like survive, after this last couple of years with what's going on and a lot of things in my career and my personal life. But it's been a great ride, and I keep saying I am marking this as the halfway point in life, but I got to get that weight down. If I stayed 340, I'm confident I would not have seen 70 years old. In my mind, if I stay in the 270s, I'll probably live into my 70s, 80s. But if I really want to make it to 100, I've really got to get under 220. I've got to keep my body fat down. I've got to keep my muscle mass on. I've got to keep my cardiovascular strong. I've got a lot of work to do, and I have had some lapses in discipline. I don't know if this panned in, but a couple days ago, I bought a 6-pack of Pepsi Max, the diet soda. I stopped drinking the Poppy because, like I said in a video a couple weeks ago, yeah, it's only 5 grams of sugar and it's 25, 30 calories, but I was drinking like 6, 7, 8 cans a day. If I just had a can at lunch and a can at dinner, that's perfect. But for a couple weeks, I was drinking nothing but water, and I get sick of drinking water. I have a bunch of seltzers in my fridge, but I get sick of those too. And that weekend I went away, I started drinking diet soda like crazy again. And I'm pretty sure I was drinking it before then too. And I don't know, I went to the supermarket to get some afternoon snacks. I was just going to get fruit, oatmeal, and almond milk for my post-workout protein shake, and I grabbed a bunch of diet soda. I got 3, it was 3 6-packs for $11.99 or something like that. And it was weird, it was like $5.79 a piece if you buy one. It's more to buy 2 than it is to buy 3 for some reason. I don't know why they do that, but that's what they did. But I bought 3. I've only had 1 so far, and when I first bought it, I was like, I'm not gonna drink it. I'm gonna take it back. I got the receipt, and then yesterday afternoon I came back from work and I had one. I don't know. I've got some work to do. I've really got some work to do. But keep forging forward. I have in my head 2 weeks from now, I wanna break the 270 mark, which will put me right at my anniversary weekend. My wife and I are considering going away the weekend of Juneteenth. We can't go away our anniversary weekend, which is June 14th. But I've got to have I can't do what I did when I went to New York April and set myself back. It took me 2 weeks to where I put on 10 pounds. And it wasn't even just a weekend. It's like as I was leading into the weekend, I started pigging out. I'm not going to do that again. It set me back a month. And, these setbacks cost me time. And I recognize it's a process, but I really have a mind towards July 25th. And I want to be standing there under 255. And I want to feel like, you know what, I'm on track, and I'm gonna live another 50 years. So I really gotta make some adjustments. I really gotta tighten up. This is where I keep meeting resistance, and this is where I get frustrated, and then I start ballooning back, and then all of a sudden I'm 290 plus and starting over again. And I'm not going to do that this time.